The latest on Amanda Knox, the former college student in jail in Italy, serving a 26-year sentence. She was convicted of murdering her roommate during what prosecutors say was a drug-fueled game that got out of control. Now, a new book looks at her life behind bars, and Andrew Canning has the story.
As Amanda Knox prepares for the November appeal that could set her free, the author of the new book, Take Me With You, Conversations with Amanda Knox in Prison, is speaking out for the first time about their meetings. Rocco Girlanda visited Knox 20 times over the past year and says he believes she's innocent of the 2007 murder of her former housemate and that she's grown more somber and serious than ever before. He says in one exchange she told him, quote, "Everybody tells me you're famous, and I answer, I'm not Angelina Jolie. How ugly to be famous for this. I would have preferred to be famous for something I built, I achieved." Associated Press reporter Alessandro Rizzo was given an advance copy of the book.
It's really about her thoughts, her life in prison, her aspiration to have a family and to get married and adopt children. She also discusses the possibility of adopting children even as a single parent.
The book reveals Knox passes the time studying languages and reading letters of support. Some even include marriage proposals.
Knox alternates between moments when she feels serene and moments when she's overtaken by sadness.
She's also preparing for her appeal that questions the forensic testing used on the alleged murder weapon and the initial police interrogation she claims became violent, an accusation the police deny. Another new book, Walking with Amanda, written by a former fellow inmate, also brings into question Knox's treatment, claiming she was pressured by guards to take tranquilizers, which she refused, and was shunned initially by other prisoners because of her beauty. In Take Me With You, Knox doesn't comment on her case, but says she's now in limbo, suspended between her old life and her hopes for the future. For Good Morning America, Andrea Canning, ABC News.
For more now, joining us from Seattle is Amanda Knox's father, Kurt, and from Philadelphia, her lawyer, Ted Simmons. Gentlemen, thank you both for being with us this morning. And Kurt, let me begin with you. The author of this new book says that when he sat down with your daughter, that she wasn't, quote, the sex, drugs, rock and roll image that was depicted by some in the press. And I know you haven't read the whole book. You've read some excerpts. Do you think it will be able to change some people's minds?
Actually, I really think it will. We have been trying, throughout this whole process to portray Amanda the way we know her, and now there's actually somebody from Italy that's had an opportunity to go in and meet her and spend some time with her, and she really isn't this, crazy person that the media has exposed her to be as, and so we're hopeful that this will change some minds.
Is she aware of the book and the other books, and there's a Lifetime movie that's in the works and things like that? Is she aware of all of this?
Yeah, we keep her up to date as to what's going on, and depending upon the media, there are newspapers that go into the prison, so she is able to read some of those things as well.
And how often are you able to talk with her?
Well, we get a once-a-week telephone call, which is very precious. It's the ability to hear her voice from 6,000 miles away, which is, that much better than just getting a letter from her.
I would imagine so. Ted Simon, let me ask you this about the family of the murdered roommate. They feel that this new book is inappropriate, that it's unnecessary, and that conversations which took place after the crime are pretty much irrelevant, that they feel it doesn't have anything to do with the Amanda Knox perhaps before the crime. How do you respond to that?
There will be books written and there'll be movies portraying this case. There's no question about that. But on behalf of Amanda and the family, the only account that we are really concerned with is the one that's material and meaningful and the one that truly matters. And that's the one that has yet to be written by an appellate court in Italy, which we think, after they searchingly review the profound and compelling absence of evidence, they will rectify this unjust conviction. And that's the account we are all focused on, hopeful and cautiously optimistic.
And do tell us where the appeal process stands right now. We know in later November, that's when it will begin?
That's correct. The oral arguments will begin in late November.
And is there something in particular, one piece of evidence or a series of events that you'll be able to present that was not presented in the original trial?
Well, fortunately in Italy, they have a wider standard of review on appeal. So not only will the law be reviewed, but the facts will be revisited. And we think since there is absolutely no forensic evidence of Amanda Knox in the room where Meredith Kercher was killed or on her person is a compelling piece of evidence. It demonstrates she was not there and could not have been involved in this matter, as well as we're asking for an independent review of the low copy number DNA that was used in the case. It's an unreliable method of determining DNA, and we think upon review it will be recognized as such, and ultimately the court, after a searching inquiry, will see that there's physically and forensically no evidence, and the only question is why is Amanda still in jail and when will she be freed?
And Kurt, give us a sense of your daughter's frame of mind as she heads into this appeal process that Ted described.
Well, she's obviously anxious for the process to start, and she is extremely hopeful that they will come out with the right answer and overturn this wrongful conviction, and she's very much looking forward to coming home.
Well, Kurt Knox, thank you very much. Ted Simon, thank you again for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.